In the hills of West Virginia, there lived a coal mine king, and his daddy was a miner, just like his daddy'd been. And he wore a big gold buckle, and he chewed a big cigar. And once upon a distant time, he walked into my bar. Well, he swung around a bar stool, and he ordered whiskey neat. And he spun his diamond ring and flashed a smile of golden teeth. And he said, I'll buy a round of rye for every man and boy, and I'll tell you all how I became the King of Chattaroy. He said, when I was young and hungry, I lived down in those mines. I got the black lung in my chest, I've seen canaries die. I started at the bottom, and I was as poor as all of you. And I knew I couldn't live my life the way you people do. So I taught myself a thing or two about how to do it right, 'cause it costs a country fortune living life the way I like. No, there ain't no easy path, my boys, and soon you all will see that getting rich is a son of a bitch and ain't no one's lunch is free. Well, you gotta work hard, and you gotta do just one thing nobody wants to. When the sun comes up, you gotta be a man. What can you stand to do that ain't nobody can? Then he called upon the barkeep, one more round, 160 proof. And he told us all, now listen good, and I'll learn you all some truth. See, once a month when I was young, I'd drink at this same spot, and bless the day that Cadillac just pulled into the lot. And who steps out and walks right in but Orville Ira Black, in snakeskin boots, a cashmere suit, and an 11-gallon hat. See, Orville was the richest man these hills had ever known, and if you had his money, well, you could throw away your own. His spurs were always jangling, they were 18-karat gold. He had one glass eye with a dollar sign and one with cross and bones. And he picked me out amongst the crowd and he winked a one-eyed look. He invited me to sit, hung his hat upon a hook. And he said, I've got a proposition, or more like an engagement. If fortune is a temptress, we can make a small arrangement. He said, there ain't no easy path, my boy, it's that way every time. To be a king, there's just one thing you gotta keep in mind. Well, you gotta work hard, and you gotta do just one thing nobody wants to. When the sun comes up, you gotta be a man. What can you stand to do that ain't nobody can? There are two roads you can go, my boy, ain't life a game of choice? Well, he paused to pull a handkerchief, and he coughed to clear his voice. You can break your back and pad your pride without a guarantee, or you can leave it up to life and luck, or you can leave it up to me. Now, I'm not a man of perfect health, and I ain't long for this world, and I've got but one and only loving, darling baby girl. Then in walks Linda Lonnie Black, the girl of whom he spoke. She was hidden in the shadows, but she began her slow approach. He said, most men could only dream to live the life I've led, but all I want before I go is to see my daughter wed. And as he spoke, the floorboards moaned, the sound was getting nearer. The shrieks and screams of passers-by was all that I could hear. And I can't begin to tell you how she looked under that light, but I've never seen a face like that before or since that night. And as she sat down next to him and next to me too, well, I saw the hardest work that I would ever have to do. 'Cause you gotta work hard, and you gotta do just one thing nobody wants to. When the sun comes up, you gotta be a man. What can you stand to do that ain't nobody can? Well, you gotta work hard, and you gotta do just one thing nobody wants to. When the sun goes down, you gotta be a man. What can you stand to do that ain't nobody can?